What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today, guys? It is finally Friday. You know what that means. That means we're going to have us a good old time tonight. I am your host, Emmanuel Noisette. I want to welcome each and every one of you coming in tonight and hanging out with your boy. For all of y'all that are new here, we are here to talk about the entertainment news throughout the week. We got stuff about the Marvels we're going to talk about. We got a new update on Wonder Woman. We're going to talk about whether or not they should release the Ayer Cut. We're going to talk about a lot of these different things, plus some more other, some other news as well. For those of you that are just joining, in the event that you would like the exclusive privilege of joining one of the most best live chats on all of YouTube, you can do that. And I'm going to make it absolutely free. You ain't got to pay not one dime. Just go ahead and sign up. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and you too will be able to comment just like the rest of the E-Fam and the E-Vengers and share your thoughts along with this whole, community that's out here. So please go ahead and subscribe so you too can join the conversation. So before we get started, you know how we do. We got to give some quick shout. Actually, first, let me give a quick shout out to my man Terrence. Thank you so much, Terrence, for the $10 Cash App. You said for D Wade and the NFL preseason. Shout out to them. Listen, I'm getting ready. I'm getting my fantasy teams together. It's going down. But yes, thank you so much. But now we got to give some shout outs for those of you that are here hanging out with us. Let's see who is here with us. Official Liam, what's going on? All right, man. Liam, chill out. Get out of here with that. Chill out. One thing people not gonna do is tell me how to run my channel. That's one thing that's not gonna happen. But I appreciate your support and your concern. But why don't you stay tuned, see what I have to say, then judge. What they say, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a YouTube by its thumbnail either. Why don't you wait and then, find out. But that was cute. Thanks a lot. Ism Schism, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Johnny Washington, my man, what's going on, brother? Come on through. Ms. Harper, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. We got Zia Latrice in the building. How's it going, ma'am? Thank you so much. Kristen Pratt coming through for the Mod Squad. How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Jason, what is up? How are you? 60 plus is here in the building. My man Nelson V is here. Diamond, what is up? How are you? We got Deborah Rodriguez. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. And then we got Jason Rodriguez right there. Thank y'all both so much. What's going on, Stephanie? Thank you so much for being here as well. We got Mama J in the building. How you doing, ma'am? Thank you so much. Treese, what is up? How are you? Good to see you. Let's see. My man Tane is back. Good to see you, sir. Thank you so much. TT, what is up? How are you? Good to see you too. What's up, Andre? How you doing, brother? Christy, what's going on? Christy, my bad. I am so sorry. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think last week was your birthday. I think I missed it. But just in case, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I hope you had a wonderful time and a good birthday to celebrate. I hope you got all the things that you hope for and wish for. But thank you so much for being here. Alib, hello. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Listen, I got all the Mod Squad squadding up. I love to see it. Y'all know the deal. Get those likes up while you're here. Rhonda, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here as well. What is up? Storm Shadow, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see. Trouble Clef, good to see you too. Thank you so much for joining. Michael, what is up? Thank you so much for being here as well. Let's see. We got a couple more and then we're going to get started. Who else I see? There we go. Jesus. Hello. Good to see you. AJ, my man, what's up? Rachel, good to see you. Travis, how you doing? Lamar, good to see you too. Kimmy, what is up? My man Angel, good to see you. Always a pleasure. Metal, what's up? Corey, how you doing? Soto, how you doing? And shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get these comments first. Let's see what the people are talking about. Oh my gosh, Deborah, thank you so much. So generous of you. Hi, E-Man and E-Family, sending some love to Kobe. Thank you so much. Kobe absolutely appreciates it because he stinks. Right now, Kobe stinks. I don't know what the hell this dog has been rolling in, but it stinks. He smells, God, it's a lot of bad things. He smells like butt, smells like feet, smells like grass. I don't know what else, but it's a nasty combination. So I'm gonna take that donation and it's gonna go straight to his grooming that I have to take him to on Saturday. So tomorrow. Dang, yeah, that's tomorrow. So yeah, I gotta hurry up and go take him because your boy stinks. Okay, he stinks. But thank you so much, Deborah. I appreciate you. Trouble, what you got? It's the shirt for me on this day in Black History. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You know what? Actually, if y'all go, I got you. I got you covered. I got you covered. Don't worry. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. It's definitely a Black History moment. I will say that. This definitely a Black History moment. I will say that. Puma, what you got? Freaky Fridays with my man E-Man and E-Vengers. Good to see you, Puma. Thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you. Hold on. I hope I didn't. Give me 1 second. Make sure I didn't miss nobody. Okay, I got it. Let's see who else we got. Jay Bling going back to Dwayne Johnson talking about Black Adam. More proof that he hasn't learned anything in his upcoming Christmas movie Red One. Okay. Oh, this is two-part. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. It's described as a globe-trotting 4-quadrant action adventure comedy, imagining a whole new universe to explore within the holiday genre. No log line, just marketing buzzwords. Great point. Yeah, I cannot fault you in that because this is exactly what I was talking about before, right? Like when Dwayne Johnson and his production company $7 when they get involved, they're gonna go with like the things that they think will work on paper. But just because it sounds good on paper, we got diversity, we got these action, we got comedy, we got all of these things. You're going to be sitting here wondering why people didn't resonate with it if it doesn't really go off, because I'm sorry, just because you're The Rock does not mean, it doesn't guarantee that your movie is going to be a hit. Yes, The Rock has been in a lot of hit movies, but them days are over. Okay. Nowadays, because of streaming, because we have such a huge influx of options of things to watch, of things to go to the theaters for, people are like, yo, you can't just be giving me just any old thing. Because at this point, either I can use my money to go watch something better, or I could be at home and just watch like a fulfilling different things that are just on one streaming platform's wait list. So it could be a whole lot of other things out there. You got to come with some heat. You got to. You can't just say, oh, well, this worked in the past. No, just tell us something original. Tell us something that's meaningful, Again, what do I say? Start with the story, then the character. That's where you got to start. If you don't start there, throw it away, start all over. Jay, thank you so much for the contribution and your wonderful support. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Nelson, what you got? Folded chair gang. You know what it is. The signal go up. Listen, you know what it is. But thank you so much. Did you watch I Clone Tyrone? Actually, yes, I did. Man, I'm surprised I forgot to even review it. But yes, actually, I did watch They Clone Tyrone. I would say that I enjoyed They Clone Tyrone. For those of you that don't know, it is on Netflix, and you can go watch it. I felt like it wasn't like, it was somewhere between Get Out and Thank You and Sorry to Bother You, or God, was that it? The one with Lakeith Stanfield? Thank you for, was it Sorry to Bother You? I think it was Sorry to Bother You. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But it was that movie existed somewhere in between that. It wasn't Get Out level, but it was somewhere in between, And I liked it. I mean, Jamie Foxx was hilarious. Oh my gosh, he was so hilarious. John Boyega. This is the reason why I say, if Jonathan Majors is guilty, and if Marvel decides to move away from him as Kang the Conqueror, you slide John Boyega right in there, because that brother has range. That brother knows how to act. He can show you so many different sides that, like this is what you need from an actor. So one way or another, this brother is proven to people all the time that he's got them acting chops, okay, and he can do the damn thing. So from the and shout out to Tiana Paris, she did a fantastic job as well. But yeah, the movie, I definitely enjoyed it. You know, it definitely touched on a lot of things that people in the Black community have always thought about and talked about. Now, I'm not going to say every single conspiracy theory that was in the movie was true, but I'm also not going to say it's not true either. You know, there's some things in there that's kind of like, well, you know, I get it. I understand, you know, but I would say go ahead and check out They Clone Tyrone if you have not seen it already. I know this is just a quick little impromptu review. But I did overall I had a pretty good time with it. I thought it was a pretty solid film. And yeah, I think it's definitely worth watching. So go check it out if you have not already. All right. Thank you so much again for that, Nelson. What do we have? Guys, let me tell you something. I care about y'all. Okay. Don't let nobody ever tell you no different. Matter of fact, I know a lot of y'all were asking about the shirt. If you look in the description of this video, you can actually find the link. Actually, I'll post it here in the chat as well. I did post this on here because I care about y'all. I know y'all want stuff, so I made this stuff. And right now, if you go get it right now, it's on sale. I want to say for like 16 bucks. If you don't, then it goes up to like 20 something dollars. So go ahead and get that sale while it's happening just for y'all. So E-Man cares, okay? But let me tell you something. This ain't it. This ain't it. I've heard the cries from the people. I've understood that the people have been needing something from me. And I'm here to deliver. I'm here to deliver. So not only do y'all get this on sale, not only do y'all get that, but I'm also give y'all a little something extra too. I'm gonna give y'all a giveaway. It's a free giveaway for a movie. I know y'all have been waiting for this. Y'all been asking for it. Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you, and there's no sign up, no nothing. All you got to do is just go ahead, sign up, and it's all yours, guys. You've been asking for it. Here it is. Right now, you can get your very own free copy of Fast X. Okay, here's the link. It's in the description. It is now in the comments. You can head on over to themovieblog.com and to the Fast X digital movie giveaway. Okay, I know y'all been waiting for this. All you got to do right here, you click on that link right there. It's going to take you to the order form, to the giveaway form. You can go ahead. All you got to do is put your name, your email. Don't worry, I'm not going to play favorites. Matter of fact, I told the studio to go ahead and make the pick. So everybody else is going to get picked randomly. But just because, listen, I went to bat for y'all. Okay? Don't make me look bad in front of the studios. I told the studios, my people need Fast X. Okay? I went to them for y'all. I told them y'all wanted this. And they coming through. Don't make me look bad. Go ahead and sign up. Sign up and get that free copy. Okay? It don't cost you nothing. You're welcome. You're welcome. So please go ahead and get you a free copy of Fast X. Tell your mama, tell your brother, tell your cousin, tell your friends. Share the links. All of that. So you're welcome. Go ahead and do that. Don't ever say I never gave y'all nothing. Don't say that. All right. Let's move on. What else do we have? You see how I like to kick it off with something positive? I like to kick it off like that, you know, get us in the mood, get us feeling right. All right, so y'all, we have to talk about, actually, we've talked about this before, especially when it comes to Marvel, because Marvel has been one of the biggest perpetrators because they're on top, right? But they've been the ones that have had the spotlight on them the most in terms of movies that have had spotty VFX. We know how important VFX can be for a movie because sometimes the movie can be great, But my goodness, if the VFX ain't hitting, that could take some things away for some people. Now, that didn't happen for me, not with a lot of movies, because unless you giving me Scorpion King level VFX, I'm usually pretty forgiving about it. But there have been people talking about like the first Black Panther was just okay because they didn't like the little VFX at the end. I'm like, I mean, that was a small part, but whatever. I understand. VFX are important. And with that said, there have been a lot of articles and artists coming forward basically saying that, like, yo, the industry is in shambles. A big studio, whether it's Marvel, WB, whoever, but Marvel's been getting more so called out. But a studio will call up the VFX industry, and in case y'all didn't know how it works, it's like a bidding system, right? So you'll have like 10 companies that do VFX, and Marvel will be like, yo, we need somebody to work on Ant-Man 3. Whatever. What y'all offering? Who's got the bids? And one company will be like, man, we'll do it for, I don't know, 100,000. Another one to say, we'll do it for 90,000. I'm making up numbers. I don't know what it is. Another one will be like, man, we'll do it for 70,000. Well, guess who's going to get the job? The company that says 70,000. If I'm Marvel, I'm going to go with the lowest cost, right? Okay, cool. Well, we got a deal. Boom. Marvel's working with that company for 70,000 to do these effects or whatever. And guess what's going to happen? Well, Marvel's like, yo, you know what? We want Ant-Man to do this, but then we change our mind. We actually want him to do this. Go do it. And the VFX company is like, oh, okay. Well, that's going to take a little bit more time, and we probably going to need some more people to do that. Y'all going to pay some more for that? Give us a little extra time? Marvel, nope. No more money and no more extension. Matter of fact, we need it sooner. So what does that mean for the VFX company who's bound probably by a contract and doesn't want to lose this gig? They got to work their butt off. They got to work extra hours. They got to work overtime. They got to maybe outsource. They got to do all this other stuff without extra compensation. And I mean, I don't know about y'all, but my goodness, if my boss asked me to work overtime and I don't get compensated for it, oh, that's going to be an issue. Now that's different, obviously, if you work for salary and stuff like that. But if you're an hourly worker, if you're a contract worker, it's certain parameters that are going to be in place. Now, with all of this said, this is just the nature of the studio, of the industry. The VFX artists so far, all they have to do, they have basically been eating at each other because that's just the way it's been. They've always had to outbid the other, and then they get messed up on the other end of things. Matter of fact, we just talked about how Amy Pascal, from Sony, with Across the Spider-Verse and all the Spider-Man movies, when she was told about like these artists, these VFX artists having a hard time, what'd she say? Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to making a movie. She was like, yo, oh well, what's that mean? Get the job done. Victoria Alonso, from Marvel, who just got fired. She got dragged through the mud for blacklisting artists and for doing all this other stuff, with these VFX artists. So, there was nothing that they can do. Well, until now, because finally, the VFX artists have voted to unionize and come together in one stand. It says here in the press release, a supermajority of Marvel's more than 50 worker crew had signed authorization cards indicating they wish to be represented by the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. For almost half a century, workers in the visual effects industry have been denied the same protections and benefits their coworkers and crewmates have relied upon since the beginning of the Hollywood film industry. Let's see. This is a historic first step for VFX workers coming together with a collective voice demanding respect for the work that they do. And within this whole IATSE, it represents over like 168,000, different types of artists, craft persons, technicians. And all of this time, VFX workers were not part of that at all. So, listen, It's been about time. You got a writer strike going beyond 100 days. You got an actor strike that is currently shutting everything down. Now, if the VFX workers actually decide to get a union going, and if the studios have no choice but to like work with them, I see this as a win-win situation. Now I do think it's possible that you might have the studio say, oh, okay, well, if y'all gonna do this, we might outsource and go somewhere else. That's possible. Now, will the quality be there? We don't know. But we have seen that when you let these artists just do their thing, it turns out pretty well. It worked very well for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It worked very well for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Not one person sat here and was like, oh man, the visuals. Like, the visuals are actually pretty good, So when you let these VFX artists cook, it's a good thing. But you're not going to be able to just keep taking advantage of them and giving them more work in less amount of time and, not compensating them. So shout out to them for, coming together and doing this. And my hope, the reason why I actually like this is because I'm hoping that it pushes the industry, whether you're an artist, whether you're a studio, I'm hoping that it pushes them in the direction of giving us good quality stuff. Don't give us rushed material. Don't give us rushed products. Don't give us unfinished VFX, going on the screen looking like the Flash and then trying to gaslight us by saying, oh, that was on purpose. Don't do that. If you got to delay something, if you got to pay somebody more, just get the job done. So I hope that this works out for them. I hope it really works out for us, the viewers. But I don't know. Y'all let me know. How do you feel about the VFX people finally coming together and getting themselves unionized? Do you feel like this could lead to more mess or more drama, maybe between them and the studios? Or do you think this could be a good thing and maybe, we get some like good movies that actually look really solid? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments below. All right. What we got? We got a couple comments right now. Fringo, what you got? Stephanie Garnett, Kristen Pratt, Ms. Harper. Hello, family. Hope you're all doing well. Team Strikers. Thank you so much. I think you on the picket lines too, if I'm not mistaken. Ain't that right, Frigga? But thank you so much for the contribution. I really appreciate it. Let's go. My man Mike can't stay long. Tomorrow is my birthday, 34, baby. But had to show the E-fam some love. I'm too lit. Mike, my man. Congratulations, happy birthday to you. I ain't finna serenade you, bro. I ain't, I figure you don't need that from me, but make sure you have yourself a fantastic time, bro. Enjoy yourself. Whatever you're doing, take an extra one for me, whatever it is out there. But anyway, be responsible, be safe, and all that good stuff. But enjoy yourself, sir. Thank you so much for the contribution. Puma, what you got? Twisted Metal episode 6 was great. Why are we talking about this? Mackie will definitely get a season 2. Who's seen the series? If you have, what do you think? Mackie Love. Not me. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves, I guess. I don't know. But Puma, thank you so much for the contribution. I appreciate you. Let's see. Anthony, what you got? Hey, man, this is the first time in a while that I can watch it live. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. My squad started a 100-mile run on August 1st, and I'm going to need you to help me get through this because I'm in 4th place, 74.36 miles. Bro, my knee hurt. Golly. Woo, listen, I'll do the best I can. I mean, we all here. We're going to talk about some things. Hopefully this will get you through it because I don't even want to think about, oh my God, 74. Woo! Ooh, hey, look, good luck. Good luck to you. But thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate the contribution. I really do. All right, let's move on. What do we have? Oh, okay. So we're going to stay on the strike. So again, as you guys know, the strike is a real thing, right? We got writers going on strike. We got actors going on strike. Hollywood right now is in shambles because nobody's able to do anything at this point. But the downside of this is the fact that, there are negative effects to this. Now, yes, the studio right now, they're not making money. They're, losing money because nobody's working, things are not getting out there. Now, on the flip side, they out here trying to give people reality shows, and hoping those reality shows translate into whatever. I think I just saw something about Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, like they're actually making the what is it? Their divorce. I think they're actually making their divorce a reality show or series or something. I don't care, whatever. But the other harsh reality is the fact that this is affecting a lot of working actors' pockets, and writers as well. Like I've said before, a lot of them are not, you know, super wealthy. Everybody's not Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, The Rock, Scarlett Johansson. Like a lot of people are not, a lot of these actors are not in that 1%, and a lot of them are struggling. They rely on these jobs and these gigs, sometimes even check to check or gig to gig. So we unfortunately saw this one story that just came up about a famous actor, Billy Porter, and he said that he basically had to sell his house because of the strike, and he's still going check to check. And yeah, this is pretty unfortunate because I'm not too familiar with like what shows Billy Porter has been on, but I do know Billy Porter gets around. Billy Porter, can sing, can dance, can act his tail off. But he said here, I have to sell my house because we're on strike, and I don't know when we're gonna go back to work. The life of an artist until you make FU money, which I haven't made yet, is still check to check. I was supposed to be in a new movie and on a new television show starting in September. None of that is happening. Bob Iger had previously made remarks in which he claimed those on strike had demands that were just not realistic. And Porter took a little shot at that to hear Bob Iger say that our demands for a living wage are unrealistic while he makes $78,000 a day. A day. Yikes. And then keep in mind, we also had that anonymous executive sit here and say that the end game is to allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and losing their houses. And Porter responded to say, so to the person who said we're going to starve them out until they have to sell their apartments, you've already starved me out. And that is the harsh reality that these people have to deal with. Pose. Thank you so much. I didn't watch Pose, but I knew Porter was on Pose. Thank you. Pose on FX. That's where Billy Porter was more well known for. But this sucks. This is sad. The fact that anybody has to sell their house just to go ahead and make a living, that's an issue. I mean, my editor just went to there's a fan expo convention that's going on here in Chicago. I'll be there tomorrow too, in case anybody's gonna be there. But he just came from there, and I believe Giancarlo Esposito, was up there, and he was talking about the strike. And one of the things he mentioned was like, he was like, "Yo, like, I have to do this work, and if I don't do this work, I got 2 daughters, 2 kids, I got to support, pay for their houses or do whatever that he's supporting." And he's like, yo, I'm not on that top end like that, but I'm decent. I don't know how long I'm going to last. I got to call my accountant just to see how long I can make this stretch. And that's real, it's real. So, this is just one of those things where like, it's unfortunate, and again, I really hope that everybody can get this stuff together, because this strike is going to affect a lot of people's lives, and these are people that work 9 to 5s, or I don't know, weird hours, maybe, whatever, but they work in check to check like a lot of other folks are. But y'all let me know, what did you think about Billy Porter talking about him having to sell his house? And I'm pretty sure there are other people that are in the same situation. He probably was just more recognizable to get this coverage but like for the background actors, for the people that maybe were on one or two movies here or there, you probably won't hear their stories. You know, that might not make the news per se, but it's probably a reality. But either way, y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now speaking of the strike, and you know, we just talked about Stephen Amell last week, right? And my man was he's part of the actors union, he's part of SAG-AFTRA, and you know, who are on strike. And he was one of those people that voted against the strike. And y'all saw this man out here. I played the video clip. I told you all the context of him, you know, trying to clarify himself and all that. He was against the action of taking a strike, right? And that's fine. He is well within his rights to believe against going with the strike. That's fine. However, he got outvoted a lot. Like, bro, you was in the tiny majority, you lost. Okay, your union did not agree with your position, and they decided to go ahead and go on strike. I understand you don't like striking, but guess what? The union you signed up for, that you pay dues to, that you are aligned with, they did. So, talking about how much you weren't really on board with this after the fact is not very helpful. You don't look, it's not a good look, basically, for anybody that was wondering, what's the big deal if he has an opinion about it's about the timing. The timing is terrible. If he was saying his comments about being against the strike before they voted on it, cool, go for it. Y'all were literally in the middle of deciding. That's fine. But once y'all cross that line, once y'all make that decision, shut up. Because you in a bigger fight now than sitting here trying to voice your opinion. And on top of that, you're not even voicing no alternatives. You're not telling nobody, hey man, striking is bad. Okay, so what should we do? Well, striking is bad. Well, duh. But so is not getting paid. So is not getting paid fairly. If you're not going to bring up no alternatives, why are you talking? So yes, Stephen Amell, you know, was definitely out here just saying the most and doing the most, still trying to promote his show, even though that's against the rules of his union. And then he tried to backtrack his comments, talking about, you know, I wish I didn't make this public. I wish this didn't go public and blah, 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 blah. Well. All it takes is a little bit of time and pressure. And bro, things will turn around because Stephen Amell, now Mr. Anti-Striker himself, has joined the picket lines after his controversial strike comments. Yes, that's right. Let's see. Can we get him right here? Yes. Look at him. Look at him right here. Let me get that nice and big. Hold on. I want to let's go to the actual picture because I want to see this man out here striking. Yep. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that. That shirt's so clean. He ain't never wore that. He just got that shirt today. They've been on strike they've been on strike for a minute now. And this man just put this shirt on. His PR agent was like, look, what you're not going to do is keep talking. Okay. You're going to be quiet. You're going to take this sign and you're going to walk around, take this t-shirt with you and smile while you out there. You love striking. You want to work, don't you? My man got to picketing. He got to picketing. You listen, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And look, this would have been fine had he just been quiet. He would have just blended in with all the other actors. He would have blended in. Nobody would have talked about him. Nobody would have said nothing. But now you got this little stain on your record. And the sad thing is, he doesn't do the work that would make people forget about this. He's not used. Now, if Arrow was coming out for the first time, okay, maybe. But at this point, bro, like, hey, you should have showed up with some donuts. You should have showed. I hope you brought some pizza. You know, along because I know I know a lot of people around you, they was not feeling him. A lot of them actors that were right there, they heard what he said. They read Variety. They read them articles too. They knew what he said. Look at him. Look at his face. Look at it. Hold on. Let's get a little closer. I just want to get a little closer. Look at his face. You're like, yep, that's me. Probably wondering how I got here after my dumb comments the other week. Well, it all started when I failed my city. Yeah, we know. Anyway, what do y'all think about listen, is it better late than never? Like is it all right that he's going ahead and joining the picket lines, or does it not even matter? Do you think that this is still going to be a tarnish on his resume? Are people never going to forget? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Let's see. Anthony, another one. Thank you so much. Well, Bob Iger is right, because the current needs that the actors and writers are demanding are unattainable with the current system, which is why things need to change. So, I think you're talking about Bob Iger basically saying that all of the writers' demands and the actors and stuff were unrealistic. Yeah, I think it's a little skewed though. Like, it's unrealistic if they keep doing what they're doing. So if the studio continues to put $200 million in one streaming show like Secret Invasion, well, if y'all keep spending stupid amounts of money, of course you're not gonna have no money to pay everybody else. So it's like, it's not like they're being unrealistic. It's like the whole system, as you mentioned, is screwed up. But it's not like, that's also on Iger. That's also on Netflix. That's also on the rest of them. It's screwed up all over because the whole industry has already changed. So with the industry changing, naturally, you're going to have new agreements. I mean, you're talking about the last deal that the writers and actors had. It encompassed 15 years ago or something like that. I think that's the last time it was written up or whatever. I mean, even if that was the case, everything changed during the pandemic. The moment we had the pandemic, the moment things pushed into streaming, everything changed. We changed at like the consumers. We changed. The studios changed. You started seeing movies go from straight to theaters onto streaming stuff. Stop going on Blu-ray as quickly. You saw the release windows change. So now people are like, I don't know if I need to go to the theater or not. Everything has changed. So it's not that they're being unrealistic. It's the fact that, like, yo, the industry is different now, and everyone has to change according to what's fair for both sides. And I think what's unrealistic is Bob Iger failing to at least admit that, because it's easy for him to sit here and say, oh, they're being unrealistic based off of the fact that we changed the rules and found some loopholes, but you're not going to talk about that. You're just going to say they unrealistic based off of standards that don't exist anymore. That's what's unrealistic. So, yeah, you got to read between the lines with Iger's comments, in my opinion. I don't think it's just that cut and dry. Oh, this is breaking news. Hold on. This literally, how old is this? This just came in. Hold on. I didn't even make a thing for this. Hold on. I love this. Man, breaking news. Just not happening. Well, at least I just found it. It's new to me. So, The Harder They Fall. I don't know about y'all, but I absolutely loved this movie. This was something that was on Netflix. It starred Jonathan Majors. Lakeith Stanfield was in there. Like, this movie was so Zazie Beetz was in there. So good, so good. I mean, to have this Black Western on Netflix was so fulfilling, and it was based off of like a lot of real historical characters, even though the story was fictional. The characters were real, but the story was fictional. One thing that I absolutely was hoping for was more spinoffs, or at least a sequel or something. And Netflix has been pretty quiet about this. They haven't really talked about it at all. And somebody here on Twitter was like, yo, rewatching The Harder They Fall, and I wish there was a second movie in the works. And they tagged the Bullets. That's the director. Be like, yo, like, can we get a second movie? And he said there is. So we have it here. We have it here that the director himself has confirmed that there is going to be another movie for The Harder They Fall. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that we're going to get a direct sequel? Is it going to be a prequel? Is it going to be a spinoff? We don't know. All he said is there is. So it sounds like something is in the works for The Harder They Fall as a sequel. I don't care which one of them it is. I don't care if it's a prequel, sequel, or whatever. I'm here for it because what that movie did and what it gave to us, gave me life. So y'all let me know, how do you feel about this? Are you looking forward to the Harder They Fall sequel? Would you like to see a prequel? Would you like to see a continuation? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments down below. Let's see. We got my man, Mr. Bobby Wright. That shirt is on point. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you. And like I said, I put a link in the description of this video if you are interested. The sale is going on. I think it ends today or tomorrow, but go ahead and copy one for 16 bucks, or starting at 16 bucks. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. Puma, are they really making a sequel? Well, Puma, the director just said yes. Yeah, so I guess like that looks like is the case. So I'll take it. Like it's not like Netflix is saying it, but whatever. This is good enough for me. I'll take it. All right, so let's move on. I'm only going to talk about this because it's news related, and I want you all to understand that this is not an endorsement of any kind. Don't ask me about this. Leave me alone. I'm asking y'all this in advance. Apparently, people have been watching Twisted Metal on Peacock. I don't know why, but they've been watching it, and apparently it's been doing some good things for Peacock. Twisted Metal sets an audience record for Peacock comedies, and it's earned a spot among streamers' top original series. It says here, in the 2 weeks since the video game adaptation launched, it has become the streamer's most binged comedy premiere to date. According to NBC Universal, the average account watched about 3 episodes per sitting, with some opting to knock out all 10 in a single viewing window. The company didn't report exactly how many people have watched Twisted Metal, but it is apparently joining the ranks of Bel Air, The Best Man Final Chapters, Poker Face, and Based on a True Story as one of Peacock's top 5 original series launched to date. Y'all did this? Let me just I'm going to point a couple things out. Just a couple things. Because this was some real creative reporting. Real creative. It has become the streamer's most binged comedy premiere. That's real selective. Not the best show. Not the best thing. Just the real. It had to be the comedy premiere. Real specific. And We're not gonna act like we just missed this. Y'all not gonna report exactly how many people watched it? You just gonna leave that out there? Because I know when things are great, they say, yo, 2.5 million people saw this, 500. Boy, y'all getting real. And you telling me that the competition is Bel Air, The Best Man, Poker Face, and based on a true story? How many of those y'all watch? I'm just wondering, just curious for real. I watched Bel Air. I covered the first season, not so much the second season. Best Man, I missed it, but I know a lot of people liked it. That's cool. Y'all watching Poker Face? Based on a true story? I never even heard of that. Have y'all heard of that? I'm just asking, have y'all watched these things? That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying this is a terrible show. I'm just asking, are these things that y'all watch? And if they're good, that's great. I'm just trying to get a sense of where Twisted Metal actually ranks, because I don't hear a lot of people talking about these other shows. I heard people talk about Best Man. I heard Poker Face was good, but it's not blowing people away. I ain't never heard of Based on a True Story. Never heard of that. Bel Air, I mean, I like the first season. I haven't heard many people talk about the second season. Is it good? I don't know. But hey, for a comedy premiere on this specific platform, they didn't say all are streaming now, just for Peacock and in their comedies, this is number one. All right now. Okay. I've done my due diligence. I've reported on it. I've talked about it. I can't hate on it. If people like it, that's great. If you like Twisted Metal, I'm happy for you. I watched them first 3 episodes and I knew from the jump this was not for me. It just was not. So we'll see. Anywho, y'all let me know. How do you feel about this? Does this encourage you to maybe go watch Twisted Metal starring y'all boy, Anthony Mackie? Or are you good? You know, have you tried watching it? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is it a miss? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. All right, I know Puma about to get on me. I already know he about to get. See, look at this first one. I'm treating them like Star Wars. I can't trust. Okay, all good. Thank you so much for that. I understand. Alib, what you got? E-Man, how much did that hurt? Be honest. My soul might have left my body for a quick second. It might have. I don't know. But I'll get back to you on that. Thank you so much. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine. I am fine. Puma, here we go. Told you. Love facts on facts, Twisted Metal. Listen, Puma's been harassing me all week. Talking about I need to watch Twisted Metal episode 6, 7, 11, 12. You got a better chance of me watching Andor at this point. Better chance. That still ain't happening. Let me tell y'all something. And I'm not bragging. I'm watching Castlevania right now. I can't talk about it, but I'm watching that right now. I'm not about to go watch Twisted Metal. Not at all. Not at all. Anywho, but thank you so much. Anthony, what you got? I saw this during the week and started to crack up and thought about you since Mackie he's not my arch nemesis. he's not my arch nemesis. That's funny. That is funny. Thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate it. Oh, Puma again. Poker Face was great. It's from Glass Onion directed. Yes. So I've heard good things about Poker Face. I have heard about it. So I believe that. I believe it. And it probably is better than what's on Peacock too. So I'm not hating on that. Thank you so much. Storm Shadow E. Gotta watch at least 3 episodes. Give it a chance. I did. I did. I watched episode 1 through 3 of Twisted Metal, and I said it was not for me. I gave it a chance. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I watched the first 3 for Andor as well. Like, I gave it a chance. I gave them both a chance. I don't just be blind hating, you know. I be like, yeah, we'll see, you know. But anyway, all right, let's see what else we got here. Listen, if I was really hating, I wouldn't even have talked about it. I would have let it slide. I would have let it go. But you know, I'm fair. You know, I'm fair. All right, let's move on. Next topic. Jonathan Majors. So guys, as you know, Jonathan Majors has been caught up in a huge line of drama ever since, what was it, March. So we in August right now, with the accusations of domestic violence or assault or harassment. There's a whole trial that's been going back and forth. If you're interested, look up Jonathan Majors on my channel. I walk you through everything. I've been trying to tell people this is a very open case right now, that because we don't have all the information yet. But no matter what happens, the damage has already been done to Jonathan Majors' career professionally. He's been dropped by commercials. He's been dropped by future movies. You know, his future with Marvel right now is kind of like in the balance. We don't really know if he's going to continue being Kang the Conqueror or not. But there was always this one other movie that people were a little concerned about, and that is his upcoming film that played in Sundance, I believe, called Magazine Dreams. Now, if you didn't know, Magazine Dreams, it's about him. He plays like this amateur bodybuilder and all of that, but this is a pretty dark movie, you know. So the question was like, yo, what happens with this? Because it's already shot. Disney already bought it. I think it was Fox Searchlight. They already bought it. So it's kind of like, well, y'all bought the movie. Are y'all going to release it? Like, what y'all going to do, especially with all this drama and stuff? And apparently, Disney's cool. They like, yo, they going to go ahead and release it either way. So the Jonathan Majors is still getting backed by Disney right now. It says here that during Disney's Q3 earnings presentation, it confirmed that Magazine Dreams is among the mass media company's updated upcoming theatrical releases slate, and it's still going to be coming out December 8th, 2023. For those of y'all that didn't know, it says Magazine Dreams sees major star as Killian Maddox, an amateur bodybuilder trying to make a name for himself in the profession while taking care of his ailing grandfather and facing his own set of risks. Now, that is a very tame way to hear about it. Every person that I know that has seen it and talked about it, they're like, yo, Jonathan Majors is fantastic. Like, his acting is great in the movie, but man, does this brother go dark with it. Like, he's a very troubled character. The character has, I don't know if they have psychological issues or not. They might be pretty violent. Who knows? But I'm just thinking like, yo, from a PR standpoint, do you really want that out there? You already have people under the assumption that, you know, you're this big, scary black man that's violent, and you're going to play the character of a troubled, big, scary black guy who might be violent. Now, you know, it doesn't bother me because I understand to separate the artist from the acting, and, you know, I get that. But there are a lot of people out there, just, you know, casual fans, casual viewers, they get swayed by stuff like this. You know, there are casual people that will watch things and not know how to separate the reality from it. And they'll be like, oh, see, he was only able to play this role so well because he's like that in real life. You know, there's going to be people that's going to run with this. There're going to be people that like take this, spin it, turn it, flip it, and do all of this stuff. So it just kind of opens up the question of like, yo, is this going to be a good look? Now, let's say Jonathan Majors never had his trial, never had this situation at all. This would be great because prior to this, Jonathan Majors was Mr. Squeaky Clean. He was a rising celebrity. People loved him. I still like him as an actor. You know, his talent was like unquestioned, and to see him go dark like that wouldn't have been a big deal. We just saw him play the bad guy in Creed 3. So him playing another bad guy would have been just fine. We were like, dang, look at this guy's range. Now I know some of y'all ladies out there, I know some of y'all would have been looking at other things. I get that. Okay. Let's not pretend we don't understand the situation here. But from an acting perspective, we know that this would have been taken completely differently if this trial had not happened. Because again, public perception is a whole different thing. But anyway, we're still like what a while from now to actually getting to this court date. I think it got pushed to September. If you're trying to find out why, go watch my last video. I gave you the update on why it got delayed. But one way or another, this is going to be very interesting because now the question is, if Jonathan Majors is found innocent, well, then this is great, right? Like if he's found innocent of these misdemeanors that he's charged of, then go ahead and release that movie in December. No harm, no foul. But if he's guilty, if he's found guilty, even if it's just a slap on the wrist misdemeanor, but if he's found guilty, how is that going to affect the actual film where he's portraying another potential physical abuser or violent person? That's going to be kind of tricky. So I don't know. I personally like the idea of treating someone as though they're innocent until proven guilty. So shout out to Disney for at least not rushing to judgment and trying to, throw him away as if, because again, they don't have all the facts either. Disney does not know, and the last thing you want to do is just assume that people are guilty because of accusations. Sometimes you really have to let the law play out, let the evidence show whatever it shows. So I don't know. Either way, y'all let me know, what do you think about Disney's decision in keeping Magazine Dreams? Do you think that this is a good move for them? Do you think maybe they should delay it maybe and see what happens after the case and maybe they decide to release it later? Whatever it is, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Alib, have you ever interviewed Mackie? If no, can you? I did actually. Well, not a full one-on-one. I have one video where it was me during a round table. I think it was for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I was able to ask him a question. I forgot what the question was. But I got one little question in there, Now if I can interview, I definitely can't do it now during the strike. I know that. But I'm gonna try. I'll see what I can do. I'll try. Can't promise nothing. But we'll see. I throw my name in the hat every time. We'll see what happens though. Thank you so much, Alib. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. All right, we got that. This was funny. Guys, how many times have we been here? How many times have we gone down this road where somebody somewhere, for whatever reason, comes out the woodworks and tries to make Marvel catch some strays? Somebody somewhere always got to be trying to blame Marvel for other films or things in the industry for failing. Now, don't get me wrong. I just got done telling y'all how Marvel got their issues. They got their problems with VFX artists. That's a legit issue. They got their problems with all of Phase 4. Phase 4 was I would say a unified miss overall. So Marvel is definitely not perfect. But how many times have we heard or talked about a director, an old director, coming out the woodworks, blaming Marvel for just existing? Oh, nobody wants to watch these movies because of Marvel. Oh, Marvel is ruining film. Like, it always got to come down to that. Well, here we go again. Because now, apparently, Marvel has not only destroyed movies all over the place, but Marvel has now officially ruined ruined comedies as well. And this comes from Adam Devine. I don't know if y'all watch him on Workaholics, but you probably know his face. You've seen him around somewhere, whatever. But Adam says that Marvel movies ruin comedies and they make those movies kind of funny, but it's not real comedy according to him. So let's see what he had to say and why Marvel's got to be to blame. He says here, by the way, I want to make sure that this is clear. He was on a podcast. He was on a podcast here talking, and this is his full quote. Okay, I want y'all to remember this. This is his full quote. All right, so let's read it here. You watch comedies nowadays and you're like, this is not an effing comedy. Where are the jokes? Where are the bits? There's still good comedy shows, but movie comedy, it's hard. My theory, I think Marvel ruined it. I feel like superhero movies ruin comedies because you go to the theater and you expect to watch something that costs $200 million to make, and comedy movies aren't that. So you're like, why would I spend the same amount of money to go watch a little comedy in the theater if I can spend that and watch something that's worth $200 million? And they still make those movies kind of funny. Like, oh my God, is that raccoon talking? This is hilarious, which it is, but it's not real comedy. And he goes on to say every studio used to put out several comedies a year, and there are like 45 comedies in the theater and there were like 45 comedies in theater per year. So every week or so, there's a new comedy in the theaters. Now, last year, there was like 6 or 7. It's crazy. Now, Adam, you couldn't be more wrong. Okay, like I understand where Adam is trying to go with this. I really do. But Marvel's the reason why don't nobody want to watch comedy. Marvel, it's Marvel's fault. Okay. Before I go into why he could be more wrong about this, before I go into this, I just read y'all his entire quote. I actually went back into the video just to make sure. I listened to the video. It's like the first 2-3 minutes of it, just to make sure everything he said was quoted. And Variety quoted everything. So y'all got to let me know, because apparently this seems to be the new trend in Hollywood by saying I was taken out of context. Because now Adam is like, oh, he's calling out Variety for misleading quotes about Marvel movies. I just read y'all the Variety article that took his entire quote, but now he's saying that Variety is misleading. How are people misleading when they quote everything you said? That's not how misleading works. Misleading would be if you said something and they kind of sort of took a piece of that and ran with that little piece out of they literally quoted the whole thing. But okay, what are you talking about? Let's see what he actually had to talk about, because he had to clarify himself a little bit. He says here, as a guy who loves movies and TV, it's cool to be in Variety, but this is misleading. I like Marvel and think these movies are cool. I was saying that studios, in trying to compete with Marvel, have stopped making mid-budget comedies. I miss seeing comedies in theaters. Okay, bro. Like, that was not misleading. You literally said Marvel ruined the movies. You literally said that. That's not misleading. That's actually accuracy, but he's not entirely wrong about this. Not entirely. Studios are going to do something that has been true for the last couple decades. They're going to go where the money resides. If there's a movie or a franchise of IP or whatever that brings in a lot of money, they're going to put their money in that and expect some sort of return. That's just the business of Hollywood. Now, some people like to live in this fantasy land where they think that Hollywood is all about the art. No, it's not. It hasn't been about the art for years. Now, yes, there is some level of the art that's still at play, but it's a business. Hollywood is like, these studios are like, yo, if I give you $1 million, I'm expecting 5-6 million in return. They want that profit to come back. That's the money, that's the game that they're in right now. So if they sit here and say, well, we could take $200 million, shoot something for 6 months, 8 months, and we can get $1 billion back, yes, they're going to go do that. But this brings on the question, why aren't comedies getting the run that they used to? Maybe because they're not good. That it could be that. And here's my I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. The real reason why comedies are not popping in theaters is because of comedy fatigue. It's comedy movie fatigue. That's why. It's not Marvel. That's not it. It's comedy movie fatigue. You know why? Because back when they used to release them 45 something comedies in theaters all the time, they all looked alike and they all sounded alike. Every single time I'm seeing either Jennifer Lopez or Sandra Bullock or I don't know, Jennifer Aniston in some romantic comedy, they all look and sound the same. There was no difference. It was fatigue. Comedy, movie, fatigue. Does that sound dumb? I'm just wondering, does that sound dumb? Because honestly, at this point, I'm thinking that it might be real. But if you think it sounds dumb, that's how superhero movie fatigue sounds dumb too. But that's another conversation we'll have later. But either way, the comedies have not been that good. Now, by the way, shout out to the Blackening. Shout out to the Blackening now, okay? But this is the point. The last time, as someone who watches movies for, as a living at this point, I watch movies every other week, at least. The last time I got excited to go see a comedy, the last 2 times actually, besides The Blackening, was Hangover and Bridesmaids. Now, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, we used to get some really good comedies. I'm a Will Ferrell fan myself. When Anchorman came out, I was in stitches, okay? I was all about that. I was here for all Talladega Nights, all of it. I was there for it. But you know what happened? The movies were original back then. There ain't no way you could have told me 10, 20 years ago that I was going to enjoy a comedy about a race car driver named Ricky Bobby. Ain't no way you was going to tell me I was going to have fun at the movies watching a movie about these 2 guys because they were stepbrothers. Like, I wasn't going to get that. No way you was going to tell me that, hey, there's going to be a comedy out there that you're going to like because these friends get drunk, they in Vegas, and they lose their friend. That didn't say, like, you wasn't going to tell me that. But when we saw the trailers, and then when we saw the actual movies, we were sitting here like, oh my gosh, I never seen nothing like this before. This is hilarious. Yes, here's my money. But what comedies is he talking about that is going to supposedly get people out, into the theaters? You're going to have to work for my money. I'm sorry. I work hard for this. I'm not about to sit here and take time out of my day and use my money that, yes, I could go spend on something that I already have a better idea about will make me entertain. You want me to invest my money in something that I've probably seen before, in something that's probably not that original, in something where when I tell you there's nothing worse than going into a comedy and you can see every single joke coming from a mile away. That's frustrating. That is frustrating. So I'm sorry. If you don't have nothing original with your comedies, if you don't have something fresh, if you don't have something new, if you don't have something unique to really get people to laugh. And here's the other thing, I'm gonna give you one more thing. Not only do you have to get us with something original, but you're gonna have to drop some jokes in there too, right? Like that's the main thing for a comedy to attract people. Your trailer got to give the jokes, but the secret is do not put your best jokes in the trailer. I've seen too many movies, too many comedies straight up fail because they told the best joke in the trailer. So I'm like, this is great. Let me go see this. And then when I go watch it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that was the joke from the trailer. All right, what else y'all got? And the other jokes suck. I'm not going to trust y'all movies again. That's going to put a level of distrust in there for me, you know? So, yeah, I mean, listen, when you have stuff like, let's say, Adam Sandler has a following because people know what to expect from him. If you down with Adam Sandler comedies, you're going to go watch his comedies when they come out. If you like Will Ferrell comedies, you're going to go watch those when they come out. You have to at least give people something that they can expect to be funny and worth their time, or something so different, so original that they'll be like, okay, I'm going to go ahead. Listen, Ben Stiller had y'all in a chokehold for years. Something About Mary, Zoolander, Tropic Thunder. Come on now. This was back in the day when they was chucking out bangers in comedy. Where's that? Mr. Divine, show me that. And then you can give that to the studios to be like, look at all this stuff that you sleeping on. Because I'm not about to go spend my time and money on some crap that I probably could have streamed for free. Or at least that, under my subscription. So, yeah, no, you're wrong. This ain't got nothing to do with Marvel. Marvel's out here doing it. Listen, Marvel got their own problems. Okay. Marvel got their own struggles, but they out here making their money on their own. They ain't got nothing to do with what you not doing in the comedy space. Make better movies. Stop making these excuses. Stop acting like, oh, well, Marvel's taking about. No, make better stories. Make better jokes. You might not be that funny. It could just be, listen, it might not be them. It could be you. Right? Anyway, y'all let me know. What do you think about Mr. Divine's comments on the state of comedy and the movie industry? And is it true that Marvel is actually to blame here? I mean, again, studios are going to put their money where they see the return. So if comedies are not returning the money, it makes sense. But, I don't know. Whatever it is, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. And by the way, let me know what are your favorite comedies that have been out there too, because I know I've been watching a whole lot, but it's been a minute since I've seen like solid strings of comedies. Like they just don't exist for me right now. Anthony, come on through. Thank you so much for the support. I was one of the people who saw Magazine Dreams at South by Southwest. The movie was intense, and I would not have been surprised if he got a nominee at the Oscars. This movie deserves to be seen. So I'm with you on that, right? Like, listen, trial aside, that's a whole separate issue. I would want to go see this because from what I've heard, just like you just reported, his acting has been phenomenal in this movie. I heard the movie might not be that great, but his acting is unquestionable. And I do believe that Jonathan Majors has the potential for award-winning, caliber work. So I believe everything you just said, and that gels with a lot of things that other people have told me as well. So I'm with you on that. Thank you so much. Frigga, what you got? Marvel does not need to dump the jokes for the new phases, but blaming them for your shortcomings is petty. They do need to embrace a more serious tone. I'm 110% with you on that. Matter of fact, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But Frigga, we on the same. Frigga's folding chair. Why did I just notice that? That is hilarious. I love the name. Thank you so much. But no, I'm 100%. I've been saying Marvel needs to grow up. I've been saying that. So we on the same page. What you got here? Blue Steel. I don't know what that's in reference to. Frigga, help me out. What's the blue steel for? But thank you so much for the contribution. Either way, I appreciate you. Let's see. Puma, he's pulling a Steve Urkel. Did I say that? Liar. I know, right? Yeah. Even the walk back, like, bro, what are you walking back these comments for? Like, you said what you said. Did nobody take you out of context? You literally are on video saying every single word. Hey, there's nothing misleading. There was nothing. Nothing was misleading. Just say that just say, I didn't get all my thoughts out, or I want to clarify. Just say that. But don't go saying that. See, first you're going to blame Marvel. Then you're going to blame Variety. Stop, leave Variety alone, okay? It's not their fault that they quoted you and you don't like your quote and you getting a little heat from your quote. Stop it. Stop it. Let's see what we got. Oh, Blue Steel from Zoolander. I was like, at first I thought you almost meant Blue Beetle. I completely forgot. Thank you for that. Thank you. All right. Aisha, thank you so much. Also, people are scared to make raunchy comedies because they don't want to offend anybody. That is really, really true. That is really good point because the state of comedy has absolutely changed, of course, with cancel culture and all of that other stuff. I think what was it? Jennifer Lawrence just came out with a movie not too long ago. Where she's playing some adult and she has to convince some kid to sleep with her, something like that, or whatever. That was a raunchy comedy too. But what was the name of that? What was the name of that Jennifer Lawrence comedy? No Hard Feelings. That was it. No Hard Feelings. And I remember looking through some of it, and I was just like, meh. Now, I give them points. I give her points for trying something raunchy because that was definitely a very raunchy comedy. I mean, that beach scene, Jennifer, listen, Jennifer's out there. Okay. She was out there. Okay. But that comedy didn't work for me. Like it maybe it would have worked 10, 20 years ago, but comedy has definitely evolved. It has definitely changed, but it's up to these artists. It's up to these creators to move along with society, right? Because here's the thing. Just because society changes, it doesn't mean that comedy just stops. It doesn't mean that, nobody can be funny. I've said this before, the best artists, the best comedians are the ones that know how to adapt with the time. They're the ones that know, like a George Carlin, Dave Chappelle. You're talking about people, Richard Pryor. You're talking about people that when they talk about something 30 years ago, they can still adapt and talk about maybe some other concept today and it still be funny. So yeah, you're not wrong about that at all. Very good point. But I put that back on the artist. Like, yo, if the challenge is not trying to offend someone, try different things. Try different things. Like, don't be scared, and look, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but if it does work, hey, listen, The Hangover was pushing it even for that time. That was, I mean, that might have been a time right before cancel culture took off, but Hangover pushed a lot of limits. It tried anyway. But anyway, let's see. I have not seen Joyride, so I heard that was really funny. So maybe that's an exception. I don't know. But I have not seen Joyride yet. Christopher, one of my favorite comedies is Half Baked. F you. You're good. F you. Half Baked was a good movie, man. I haven't seen that in a long time. But I did like Half Baked. Half Baked was a good one, for sure. Thank you so much, Christopher. I appreciate you. All right, let's move on. So we're gonna keep talking about Marvel because, as I've said, Marvel's had some misses. Marvel has had some misses, and probably one of the biggest issues that Marvel has been wasting either actors or characters. I remember when Idris Elba got cast as Heimdall in Thor. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why? Because this was Idris Elba back when he was on The Wire, Stringer Bell. Like, he was dope. He was on the rise. And I was like, why the hell would you want to play Heimdall? Like, you don't, like, do you not want to play a significant role? Like, bro, you could have been Blue Marvel. Like, you could have been a whole bunch of other characters. Why the hell would you sit here and want to be in this for that role? And I think he's expressed a little regret over that, over time. Like, yeah, maybe this wasn't the best role at the time, but okay, mistakes happen. But Marvel has fumbled the bag with a lot of characters. And probably one of the biggest fumbles that they've ever had was none other than Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher in Thor Love and Thunder. And apparently, recently, Marvel fans are just now realizing this after a whole year. And this apparently came after Twitter. The Real Soups, he had asked the question, asking fans for them to answer with one wasted Marvel or DC casting, and a large number of replies came back stating that Bale was wasted in Thor Love and Thunder, with some saying he is the MCU's most wasted casting. While Bale delivered a great performance as Gore, the character disappeared from good chunks of the movie, and notably did not do a lot of God butchering. I could not agree more. Now I'm gonna say he's probably one or two. We'll see. But this is absolutely true, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, y'all just not getting this. Like, I've been saying Gore was a waste. I've been saying Christian Bale was absolutely misused and underutilized in this whole thing. I mean, to have an actor of his caliber. Now, when he was cast as Gore, I was like, oh, okay, here y'all come, going for quality. I like it. But I remember when it started going downhill, when we first saw the first image of Christian Bale, and he didn't even look 2 bits like Gore the character. He didn't look nothing like him. Hold on, let's see. Do we have Gore comic Christian Bale? Let me see if we got a side by side of what he's supposed to look like from the comics. So, yeah, okay, we can get this. Look at this. Look at this. You see this over here? This is what Gore is supposed to look like. He was supposed to look like that. This is what he looked like. Now, some people would say that, he kind of looked like Ebony Maw, a little bit. Like, okay, so what? Maybe they from the same alien species. I don't care. I don't care. But this is what Gore was supposed to look like. But this is what we got. All they did was make Gore ashy. That's all they did. They didn't put nothing else on this man, but made him dusty and ashy and said, go out here in this robe and do your thing. Now, some people might have been like, okay, maybe he doesn't look the same. All right, whatever. At least we'll see the character. But the character sucked too. How you a God butcher and you only slicing and dicing little mini gods? What you doing? You ain't do nothing. You killed a bunch of guys don't nobody even know about. You had a whole pantheon of gods, and you ain't butchered not one of them. And this is especially infuriating for people that are familiar with the comics, because when you look at the comic, I'm trying to think. Okay, let me try to give y'all an example. Y'all know the Punisher, right? Punisher goes out. This is like having the Punisher come in and giving him a water gun. Like, what are you doing? Don't even have him then. Because Gore the God Butcher, In the comics, he was a problem. He was so much of a problem in the comics. Thor had to go back in time to get his old self and his future self just to triple tag team and jump Gore and beat him up. That was the only way he could beat him, with 3 Thors. You needed 3 Thors to beat up Gore because Gore was that much of a menace. Did y'all get that inkling in this movie? I didn't. I didn't get that one bit of it. So yes, he was absolutely wasted. And it was terrible. And I hope Marvel learned that lesson. However, I would be very remiss if I did not have this opportunity to say that this might not be the biggest waste of a character and an actor yet. It might not be. Because y'all, right now, I would argue, until further notice, the biggest waste of an actor is Mahershala Ali as Blade. We have yet to see anything, literally see anything about this man as Blade. Not one thing. Listen, I wish Marvel would just give me a costume. Just show me him in costume. Something. Can we get a concept art? Something? Anything? Only thing y'all got was a whisper. Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you. That's all you got. You got a whisper in a movie that not a lot of people even cared about in Eternals. You announced this man in 2018, 2019, and yes, you meant it for phase 5. We're in the thick of things right now. You gave us a boo-boo script. You had a director drop out at the last minute. You brought somebody else in. You waited almost a whole year to let this thing just marinate. Your actor was not happy. You finally brought in another actor and another director. Then y'all went ahead and let a strike happen. And what's happening now? You're letting this man's life waste away. Mahershala Ali ain't getting no younger. This 2-time Oscar award-winning actor, he ain't getting no younger. And so what y'all gonna do? Y'all only gonna bring him in for one movie? You better not. After you gave us 3 Ant-Man? You gave us 3 Ant-Man movies and you only gonna give us potentially only 1 Blade? Maybe 2? After Blade literally gave y'all this opportunity to exist, there would be no MCU without Blade. There would be no Marvel Studios without Blade. Thank you, Tony Stark, but move aside. Blade did it first. Blade walked so y'all could fly. Don't ever forget it. So yes, if there is going to be talk about a wasted character and a wasted actor, I'm going to have to put my man Mahershala up there first. Yes, Christian Bale, you up there because we actually seen it. But I'm like, damn, we ain't seen nothing with Blade. Nothing. That's just my thoughts. Who do y'all think have been one of the biggest wasted characters or actors in the MCU or in comic books? You know, comic book movies. You know, DC on the play too. Whoever you think it is, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Puma, what you got? They better get Punisher, Blade, and Daredevil right. Yes, they better. They better. Because listen, Marvel is in desperate need of a comeback. Now, Marvel's not struggling. Let me put it this way. Marvel's struggles are not the same for other people. Other studios would love to have Marvel's disappointments. That's the gap that Marvel has had. When Marvel makes a movie that's like $450 million, that's a miss for Marvel, but that's a hit for other studios. Other studios be like, yo, please, can we have your Ant-Man 3? Please, we'll take your Thor Love and Thunder. They'll take that. They will take that. But for Marvel standards, they need to step it up. And those 3 characters right there could absolutely do some damage for them. Are we going to stick with Marvel? Yes, I think we will. Okay. So we are going to talk about we're going to talk about Captain America 4. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a rumor. I don't know if this is true or not. I will say that the source that reports on it has usually had a better track record. I will say I have not been able to verify this myself, but I have seen other people that I trust talk about it. So I'm like, okay, I don't like to get in too many rumors and stuff, but I'll talk about it to some degree. All right. But again, rumors. If you don't want potential spoilers for Captain America 4, this is time to move on. But again, we don't know if this is 100%. All right, that's your disclaimer. So, Captain America 4. As y'all know, Captain America 4 is being it was set up by Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where y'all boy, Anthony Mackie, took Sam Wilson, and now he has the mantle of being Captain America. All right, cool. And there have been a lot of discussions about like, yo, who or what exactly is Captain America 4 going to be dealing with? Now, there were rumors, of course, with Harrison Ford coming into the mix as the new recasted Thunderbolt Ross. Maybe he's going to become the Red Hulk. So, all right, cool. Maybe we're going to have Cap going against Red Hulk. All right, let's see where that goes. There were rumors that, man, this whole movie done turned into a Hulk movie, because we got all these old characters from the Hulk movies coming in. There's rumors that Mark Ruffalo gonna show up. There's a whole bunch of other stuff happening. But we now have a rumor that we know exactly who the villain is and who it was. Ain't gonna be who it's gonna be now, and it's gonna be somebody else now, according to this rumor. But when I tell you, I did not care for this at all. That would be an understatement. But do y'all remember in Falcon and Winter Soldier who was the potential villain? Potential? Y'all forget? Y'all remember? I know. I didn't care about it either. But supposedly, Sharon Carter's role as the power broker has now changed due to the fans. Yeah, y'all remember the power broker? Remember Sharon? She used to work in Shield and all that little, let's say Great Value Maria Hill, wasn't too big, almost hit it off with Steve Rogers, was kind of nasty for a little bit because she's Peggy Carter's niece and she was hitting on Steve, and Steve was kind of like, hey, what's up? Y'all remember her. All right, anyway. So according to this website, I didn't highlight it. Hold on. According to this, it says that Carter was originally intended to be the film's primary antagonist, but due to the negative response that her role as the power broker received, Marvel Studios opted to reduce her role and introduce a new supervillain to the film instead. Ha! So, in other words, Marvel heard y'all. Marvel heard that y'all didn't like the power broker. And to be honest, I was one of them. I did not care about the power broker at all. Did not care. Oh, so during the blip, you got mad and you changed your ways, and I don't care. I don't care. Can you fight? Can you you got some powers? Like, what's the why should I care about the power broker? But according to this, they do say here who the villain will be, potentially. Again, this is a rumor. But this could be the new villain. And this villain is going to be the one that potentially is going to go up against Sam. Okay. And this is the daughter of the Red Skull. Her name is Sin. It says here, we can exclusively share that this casting for the Sunitha Schmidt, aka Sin, Sin is the daughter of Red Skull and works to reestablish Hydra. Ooh, Hydra coming back. Says here, we also do know that Emily Van Camp will be returning to the show Power Broker. However, her role changed. She was originally planned to be the main villain. Kevin Feige and Marvel are hesitant to make her the main villain after the negative fan response to her arc. So expect her to have a role, but a reduced one, not the main villain. So interesting. My question is this: why Sam got to keep fighting women? Didn't he just get done fighting a woman in Falcon and the Winter Soldier? How y'all gonna keep making this black man fight white women? Now Carly was mixed interracial. Okay. I'm just saying, why he gotta keep fighting? Why does black man gotta keep fighting women? Feels like a setup. Feels like a setup. And something tell me he's still gonna get his tail whooped. I hope he been training. Somebody give him some hands. Somebody put him in the gym. Bro, don't get your butt whooped by another woman. Just put the shield down. And all I'm saying is, because there are some capable women out there, we already know most powerful people in the MCU are women. I'm just saying, you don't need no more L's, especially from people half your size. You have people half your size, half your age, still whoop you. Good luck. Good luck. Anywho, y'all. Woo, can't wait for Camp 4. Can't wait. Y'all let me know, how do you feel about the power broker rumor that she might be reduced? Is this good news for you? Bad news? That maybe you like her, Sharon Carter. I don't know. And what do you think about this other rumor that maybe we could get the Red Skull's daughter as the new villain? I mean, and apparently maybe this deals with legacies. You got the legacy of the Red Skull and all the Nazi stuff he was doing, and the daughter taking that on, and now you got the legacy of Captain America that Sam's got to live in, and deal with that. I don't know. Either way, y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. Zia, thank you so much. The old and new villain feel underwhelming. Marvel has lost so many receipts or recipes. Yes, I don't know. Like, all I know is none of these are compelling. And I told y'all, I'm not personally getting excited for anything that was made before 2023, 2022. If it was something that was conceived or something that was made during the pandemic when Disney was, in phase 4 and they were in overdrive and the quality control was bad, I'm not looking forward to a lot of these things. The Marvels, Cap 4, they on shaky ground with me right now. And I told y'all, I'm not going to get excited for Marvel until something that drops in 2025, maybe 2026. Because I feel like now that Marvel has come to the realization that they messed up the last couple years, now they have the opportunity to try something different. And maybe, it's not guaranteed, but maybe the movies can get back on track down the road. We'll have to wait and see. But you're not lying. They definitely dropped the ball a couple times there. Thank you again. JN, thank you so much. Great value, Maria Hill. That's all she is. Yeah. Nobody care about her. Listen, who you gonna pick? Maria Hill or Sharon Carter? If one of them could stay alive, who you gonna pick? I'm taking Maria Hill. And she ain't even talk that much. I'll take her over to Sharon Carter any day. Let's see. Gotta replay the first half of the live. Shout out to the replay gang. I'm excited about Cap 4. Falcon and Winter Soldier series had some great writing. It did. I think Mackie is going to kill it. Okay. All right. Yeah. I admire your faith and confidence in the show and in Mackie. Good luck. Good luck. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. Yeah. Thank you, JN. I appreciate you. Puma, what you got? So, is this why he needs a Wakanda suit? I don't know if that was ever. It could be. I hope he doesn't have a Wakanda suit. I mean, I've already made a whole video about that. I told y'all that, like, putting Cap in a Wakandan vibranium suit is a terrible, terrible idea because I think it devalues the Black Panther suit. Whether it's Shuri, whether it's T'Challa, that should be the only suit that's all vibranium to me. If everybody got it, then it's not that special, in my opinion. But he can still have his vibranium lemon pepper wings. Like, just leave that. Like, that's even from the comics. He can have that, but the rest, nah, bro. He don't need no more. He need to learn how to fight. What's old dude? What was that from that show? Teach a man how to squabble. Like that's what Sam needs. Need to learn how to squabble. Jay, what you got? Want to save Marvel? Add more sex appeal. Who was it that said? Was that Ford Coppola that said that? I think it was somebody that was like, they need more sex scenes. No, I don't think they need more of that. I think they just need to take their stories more seriously. Once they do that, then they'll get back on track. That's all they need. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see who else. Anthony, again, thank you so much. MCU writers have been on strike since Endgame. Look, I wouldn't say that they've been on strike. The problem has been the fact that they've been doing too much too fast, and there hasn't been a lot of quality control. Nobody has slowed down to really evaluate stuff like the Blade. With Blade script, supposedly Blade script had been out there for over a year, and Mahershala Ali looked at it and was like, "Yo, this is whack. You got two lackluster action scenes. I don't like this." They sat on that for a year. You didn't rewrite it. You didn't sit here and get another writer. You just let it roll. That's a problem. You got a 2-time award-winning actor sitting there in the wings, and you just gonna sit on a boo-boo script for Blade? No. So I feel like the organizational structure during the pandemic was jacked up. Kevin Feige thought that he could trust all these other producers and all these other people to just delegate the stuff to everybody else. That did not work out very well. That's on Kevin Feige. That did not work out very well. Sorry, Kevin. You do need to go back and handhold each and every project. You can no longer give these projects to your producers, cross your fingers, and just hope you'll get another Black Panther movie or something crazy like that. Nah, bro. You need to go hold hand every single project. Now, I'm not saying Kevin Feige's going to bat for 100. I'm not saying he's going to knock everything out the park. But I do believe if he goes back and he does pay a little bit more attention, I think we'll have less misses than we've been getting like in phase 4. That's all. But all right. Thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate you as always. All right. Let's move on from Cap. Let's switch gears to DC. Whoo, guys. So, so we just talked about this last week. Last week, Gal Gadot came out and she was like, "Hey, me and James Gunn, me and Peter Safran talked about Wonder Woman 3. It's going down." Boy, she was feeling herself. Man, she was all in this. Now, we also found out that Patty Jenkins was not going to return. Okay, we got that. Understood. You know, things happen. People got different projects going on. No big deal. The point is, the two heads of DC, Safran, Gunn, ain't nobody else. They the shot callers. They told this woman, according to Gal Gadot, that she gonna get her Wonder Woman 3, and they gonna work together on this. That was the news. And then right after that, the news came out and said, psych, because apparently Wonder Woman 3 ain't gonna fly in the new DC universe, despite Gal Gadot teasing development plans. Yikes. It says here, sources with knowledge of the situation tell Variety that this is not the case. According to the sources, a third Wonder Woman film is not in development at DC Studios, nor do Gunn and Safran have plans at this time for any Wonder Woman project in the new DC universe other than their previously announced Paradise Lost, which is a prequel series for Max. Yikes. Now, that's just Variety. Collider, also exclusive, you see it. That means that they went and did their own research. They got their own sources. They also got this confirmation from their sources. It says multiple sources with knowledge close to the situation have told Collider that Wonder Woman 3 is not in development at DC Studios. In addition, Gunn and Safran do not have plans for a Wonder Woman project aside from Paradise Lost, which is a prequel series at Max. Yikes! Yikes! What is going on? What's happening in DC? Because this is starting to feel real messy all over again. Why can't DC not have mess? You got Gal Gadot out here. Now, here's the thing. It's not like she only said this in one interview. She said this in multiple interviews. She's been going out there, people talking to her, getting all hyped up, and she's like, oh, yeah, they told me this is happening, man. We had a talk. This is going to happen. And then you got these outlets that have their sources, and they saying, nah, sis, ain't going to happen. Now, usually, James Gunn has been very aggressive when it comes to debunking false news. James Gunn didn't say nothing about this yet. He hasn't said not two words about this. And I know people been tagging him because I did it too. I know people, he's seen the trends. He reads Variety. He reads Hollywood Report. He knows what they saying. But even though this guy normally goes out of his way to debunk the smart, he'll go to some third party, somebody got 3 little followers on Twitter and debunk that rumor. But you gonna stay silent on this? This is what I'm concerned about. I don't believe that Gal Gadot is lying. I mean, why would she lie? Why would she lie and go out there and say stuff like this? Because here's the thing. In previous interviews, when she was asked about Wonder Woman 3, she was like, I don't know. She was just like, I don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and see. She did not know. And she did. How could she? There was all this turmoil and turnover going on in WB. You know, one day you got this boss, the next minute you got another boss, you getting bought out, people getting fired. It was too much chaos. She legit did not know. But this time in her interviews, multiple, she sounded pretty confident that James Gunn and Peter Safran told her, this is what we gonna do with you. We gonna work with you. Now, as for the media outlets, I don't believe these media outlets are going out their way to have an exclusive, because these are two different sources, two different outlets with two different, I'm assuming, two different sets of sources. Maybe it's the same source. And they saying, nah. And the fact that James Gunn is not saying nothing, it gives me the impression, and again, I could be wrong. Maybe James Gunn is just on break. I don't know. But nah, because he just tweeted like not too long ago. So he's active. He's active. I get the impression that he does not want to contradict the news because, one, if James Gunn says, yes, Gal Gadot is right and we're going to do a Wonder Woman 3, what do you think the Twitter bros and film Twitter are going to do? What about Henry Cavill? What about Man of Steel 2? Release the Snyderverse, man. How come you can get rid of Henry Cavill, but you can't get rid of Wonder Woman? Why, man? That's what you're going to have if he comes out and says, oh, yeah, that's going to happen. But if he goes out and says, oh, these articles are true, if he says that they're true and there isn't a plan, now you just made Gal Gadot look like a liar. Do you really want to do that? Now, I'm not saying that Gal Gadot is like, A plus A1 sauce, type of celebrity, like, yeah, we like her. She's cool, but she ain't like, she ain't selling out theaters. She did a great job as Wonder Woman, but her other movies ain't been all that great. She ain't been all that great. But do you want to create that precedent? Do you want, as an executive, because this ain't just you being a director, you friends with, you a boss now. Safran and Gunn, y'all are bosses of a studio. What you do to one actor, you don't think other actors are going to see? So right now, it probably is in James Gunn's best interest to just be quiet, because this is a lose-lose situation for him. Now, unless he wants to do something like, I don't know, he could say, yeah, we might do a Wonder Woman thing in the future, and it'll be DC Elseworlds. Again, even if it's not part of the main continuity, you still gonna have to deal with the little Twitter bros. You still gonna have to deal with all that nonsense. How come you don't make Snyder versus Elseworld? How come you don't do that? How come? Why for not come? So I think at this point, the best thing for James Gunn to do is just be quiet. He's going to have to. I've said this multiple times before. James Gunn, as an executive, is still learning the hard way, because he inherited a mess with DC, and it has been a mess. And I'm not talking about just the quality of the movies. I'm talking about, like, professionally, it's been a mess. We've talked about Zachary Levi literally throwing your teammate, Black Adam, The Rock, under the bus while you're trying to promote a movie. That's messy house work. That means that y'all don't have y'all house in order. How many times have we joked about how Marvel will get everyone, who, whether you an actor, director, writer, they get everybody on the same page. They put you through training boot camp on how to do press and what to say, what not to say. They make sure you gonna spoil something. Let's get that Black Widow out there right now. They joke about it. Have y'all noticed? Every actor got the same joke. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I'm gonna have that Black Widow dot on my forehead. Every actor say that because I'm pretty sure they're real. I'm not gonna be surprised. Them Black Widows are probably real. But the point is, you have to, as a studio, when you bring people on board, you got to have at least some form of PR etiquette or whatever, and just be like, hey, look, gal, maybe we are going to work on Wonder Woman 3 with you. Hey, we love you. Oh, we love what you do. Yeah. But don't tell nobody, because we already know it's going to do this. Don't tell nobody. Okay, just keep it between us. You might have to just keep saying that. And when it comes to other actors that come into the fold, hey, only talk about what you got signed on for and nothing else. Because people gonna run with it, twist it, whatever. But if y'all don't know how to keep y'all people in place, it's only going to continue to add to the messy drama that has continued to be a shadow for DC and WB. And that's pretty damn sad. Well, guys, what do y'all think about this Gal Gadot situation? Do you think that they are going to make a Wonder Woman 3? Or was there some funny talk in the mix? Maybe they told her and then they changed their mind. James Gunn, by the way, in case y'all forget, when Black Adam and Henry Cavill got their little meetings with James Gunn and Safran, they didn't entirely close the doors. They did tell both of them, like, look, we're going in a different direction, but we're not closing the door on you. So that means Black Adam could come back. Henry Cavill could come back. Maybe they come back for something else, like a Crisis on Infinite Earths multiverse thing. Maybe they do that, but y'all not going to be the main people no more. So I'm wondering, is that what they're going to do with Gal Gadot as well? I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's grab these. Puma, what you got? Recast T'Challa Senior, save the MCU, get good, great writers. Yes, I could not agree with that anymore. Thank you so much, Anthony. That was a joke about the lack of MCU quality. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Back to back. One more. Thank you. Gal was excellent as cameo woman. Cameo. Yeah, I mean, listen, she did her work. She showed up. She did her little cameos here and there, and she did a good job. Listen, I don't have a problem with her as Wonder Woman. I think she's fine as Wonder Woman and gets the job done. But if that's not the direction they want to go in, I'm not gonna be mad about that either. Y'all can find another Wonder Woman. I'm pretty sure it won't be that difficult. Same way y'all can find a white guy with blue eyes and brunette hair, with a couple muscles to play Superman. Y'all can find another white woman with blonde, brunette hair, somewhat tall to play, Wonder Woman as well. That shouldn't be difficult at all. Boss, what you got? The James Gunn thing is fascinating to watch because it's usually women CEOs hired to clean up messes that corporations set up to fail this hard. Glass Cliff. Wow. Well, I listen, I'm not even gonna doubt you if that's true. I would not be surprised if that is statistically accurate or not. But no, I mean, it's definitely an interesting situation because James Gunn was brought in. Let's keep in mind he's supposed to come in for the creative stuff, right? But he doesn't want to be the business guy. That's who Peter Safran is supposed to be. He's supposed to come in because he's the executive. He's the producer. He's known Hollywood. He's done this stuff, right? Like that. He's a producer. So he's supposed to take over the more business-like stuff going on with the operations. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I mean, just because Gunn is more vocal, like, have y'all ever heard Peter Safran talk? Like, have we seen this man tweet? I've seen him quoted once or twice in an article, but he don't talk much, So this has to be something going on behind the scenes where, like, they just got to get it together. They have to get it together. But thank you so much for that. Nelson, what you got? You think Blue Beetle will do well in theaters? I have no idea. The first reactions and reviews came out. But here's the thing. The people that I saw that reacted to it was a very cherry-picked audience. They were a lot of people that I noticed already loved anything and everything DC. There were a lot of people who I knew were already excited for Blue Beetle. And many of them, just they enjoyed it. But to me, I'm still nervous. I'm still nervous. I think I'm watching it next week. So yeah, I'm watching it early next week. But I won't be able to give a reaction or anything, I think, until Wednesday. So Wednesday, you'll know how I felt about it. Um, so make sure you subscribe, follow, and all that, so I can let y'all know what I thought about Blue Beetle. But I'll be watching that next week, and I'll give y'all, my thoughts on it. But I am nervous. I hope it does well. I hope that, for being like the first Latino, superhero for DC, um, you need that representation to matter. But just because they're Latino does not mean that it's going to be a good movie. Just because it's Latino doesn't mean that everybody's going to show up. Like, you need a combination of both. You need to have a good movie and then have people show up. And then that's how it can become like a staple in the culture, kind of like how Black Panther was, But we'll have to wait and see. We'll wait and see. Thank you for that, Nelson. Appreciate you. What else? We're going to stay on DC. And we're going to ask some questions. The Ayer Cut. The Ayer Cut. Now, as I mentioned before, DC has had a very rough history, mainly because of the Snyderverse. Ever since Zack Snyder went through all his drama, personal and professional, some were not his fault at all. A lot of it was on the studio, so I want to make sure that's clear. Ever since he went through this, there have been so many issues that have been like a ripple effect afterwards. I think the biggest problem that has happened with the Snyderverse was the fact that the movies that should have been great were not great, and the movies that had little to no expectations made a lot of money. Um, Aquaman made $1 billion. Wonder Woman made like $800 million. And you had these side characters making all this money, but you didn't have like the Batmans and the Supermans doing what they needed to do. So, of course, as we know, with all the studio interference and all that, we had some janky BVS put in theaters. They had to go do an extended super ultimate edition cut later. Okay, fine. But then they released the Justice League version that was trash. And then, of course, they had to release the Snyder cut after so many years. Now, what's interesting about this is the Suicide Squad by David Ayer, that came out, and it was not all that great. A lot of people didn't really care for it. It made a lot of money, but it didn't do very well, and it was not well received. Now, it's funny to me because I try to tell y'all this all the time. Hold on, let me actually pull this up. Because recently, David Ayer, for like the last 2-3 years, ever since Zack Snyder got his version released on streaming, and probably a little before that, David Ayer has been up and down talking about, oh, well, that wasn't my movie. Oh, well, my version had the Joker doing this. And he would try and drop little things. He basically tried to use Zack Snyder's playbook, tried to piggyback off of the release the Snyder cut movement and try to transform that to the whole release the Ayer cut thing. Now, at first, a lot of people laughed at this. Like, bro, are you serious? Like, ain't nobody checking for Suicide Squad. But, little by little, he kept hearing it and kept going with it, did not let this go. Now, what was funny to me was that I recall, now I couldn't pull it up because I couldn't find it, but I recall that when Suicide Squad dropped, a lot of people asked, hey, we saw BVS Ultimate Edition and all that. Is there going to be a director's cut of Suicide Squad? And I remember David Ayer was like, nah, ain't no other cut. This is my movie. It's mine. He was real adamant about that. And I remember this, at least this was what, 2017. This was back in 2017. My man made a whole post on Twitter. Okay. And what did he say here on the last line? And no, there isn't a secret edit of the film with a bunch of Joker scenes hidden in a salt mine somewhere. But the Ayer Cut. Cap. So he clearly pulled a whole 180. Talking about, nah, there was no other edition. There was no other cut. But then years later, he started saying, hey, I have a cut. And what the studio released was not mine. They butchered it. I'm the victim. My true artistic vision has not been fulfilled. Whatever. This is a prime reason why I've always told y'all, don't be listening to these actors and directors and anybody that's under contract. Don't listen to none of them. Wait for them to get out that contract, wait a couple years, and then that's when you're going to get the truth, whatever it is. Maybe they like something, maybe they didn't, but you're going to get the truth after the fact, not during. Okay, don't forget about that. So with this, the question was like, yo, what are we going to do with this supposed Ayer cut? Now, according to David Ayer, he said there's legitimate hope. And he talked to James Gunn. And James Gunn told him that the Suicide Squad would have its time. Whoa. So here's what he said. There's a genuine curiosity and interest from a lot of people. And I'm aware that there is another group of people that have fun mocking the film. Your comment is a perfect example of how many are magnetically drawn to the 2016 film in a negative way. Have you ever had an experience in life that didn't turn out until, I guess, the way you wanted, that dragged you, that made you rethink everything? I have. He goes on to say, all I know is my unseen film plays much better than the studio release. The interest in my cut being shown, the interest in my cut being shown seems real and organic. And Gunn told me it would have its time to be shared. He absolutely deserves to launch his DC universe without more drama about old projects. In a way, I'm chained to this thing. I'm riding a tiger here and navigating the situation the best I can. Life is a very strange journey. You had a conversation with Gunn too? He told you it was going to show up? Have you talked to Gal Gadot at all? I'm just wondering if y'all talk at all, because it seemed like Gunn out here making a whole lot of promises to people. Seems like it. Now, maybe Gunn is going to come through. I don't know. Maybe. But here's my issue. And I'm glad that he acknowledged it. Why? What's the point? DC has had over a decade of straight misses and terrible PR in the optics of the public relations. Like the brand has been tarnished over the years. The minority of people that are diehard DC fans, as much as y'all love all the stuff that might have come out, I'm sorry, but y'all don't have enough people, and we don't believe you. And that's the issue at hand. That's just a straight up optics number. Now, here's the thing, because I don't want to make it seem as though Suicide Squad was some chump, okay? But there's more to it than just money. Suicide Squad made $745 million. That is a lot of money. This movie made 4.3 times its production budget. Guys, I can't tell you enough that is a success financially. And when something is a financial success, that's usually, what are they going to do? The money talk. The money talks. But there was another problem with Suicide Squad. And it was the biggest problem. Yes, you brought a lot of people in. And I believe the movie made so much money because not only were we thirsty for anything from DC to just be good, but you had Joker with, Jared Leto. Everybody loves Joker. You had potentially Batman in there. You had a big name with Will Smith in that movie, who was actually pretty good as Deadshot. You had Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn, who we really like as well. You had a lot of pieces to really put people in the theaters to make that money. But ultimately, what have I told y'all? The number one thing that's going to matter is whether you actually make a good movie or not. And guess what? Both critics and fans agreed that this movie was trash. This 394 reviews, that's usually the amount of critics that actually review stuff. When you see critics in the 300 numbers, that's usually most critics have seen this movie. What surprised me here was hundreds of thousands. Now, it'd be different if this was like 5,000 viewers or whatever. That's not hundreds of thousands of people watched this movie, took the time to come out and talk about it, and said that this movie was not good. I'm sure David Ayer's movie and his version is better. But the problem is the fact that I don't know who really cares. He was sitting here saying that, like, hey, there seems to be real organic interest. Sir, I cannot begin to tell you, Twitter is not a real place. I know that you will see release the Ayer Cut trend once in a blue moon here or there. Twitter's not real. The people on Twitter, a lot of times they're not real. That is not going to be a real big indication of what people actually want or need. You know how we know this? Because the same folks that are gassing you up for this Ayer Cut were the same folks that were gassing people up for releasing the Snyder Cut and having the Snyder universe continue, and they didn't show up for Black Adam. They didn't show up for Shazam. Gal Gadot showed up. Henry Cavill showed up. And these same folks that seem to have organic interest, they did not show up. So it's very misleading, in my opinion, to believe that there's genuine interest in this movie that was not well received in the first place. What are we supposed to get from this? People don't even like Jared Leto like that as the Joker. And you want to give us more? I believe that his version probably is better. But one thing I'm like a little tired of is, how many times do we have to see a fuller version of a movie because y'all couldn't get it right the first time? First, it was with Batman v Superman. All right, we need an ultimate extra edition and 2 extra hours to make it make sense. Got it. Then it was Justice League. Okay, studio interference. All right, we understand. Then we needed a 4-hour cut to fix that, if you call it fixed. And now we need another fix for the Ayer Cut? Why? For what? And what's the game? You gonna make money off of this? I'm not going to the theaters for this. I can tell you that right now. I don't care if y'all added 34 minutes of more footage. I'm not going to the theater to go watch the redo of the Suicide Squad. For what? And here's the other thing. As you mentioned, they're starting in a new direction. Why would I want to go watch a dead-end movie? It's dead. It's done. It's over. So you don't have a lot of interest, and whatever interest is on Twitter is probably fake. I don't see the financial reason of bringing it back. Is this gonna, if you drop it on HBO Max, are people gonna rush to the platform and sign up? I never heard nobody in just casual conversation sit here and be like, man, I wish I could see more Suicide Squad. So I don't know. I don't see this being a viable thing at all. And on top of that, I don't know what James Gunn is even thinking talking folks about this stuff. Like for what? What do you want to talk to them and give them hope for? Are you about to give them some Ultimate Edition streaming thing and maybe release it on the platform? Maybe. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But y'all let me know. Do y'all think it's worth releasing the Ayer Cut? Is this something that you are interested in? Is this something that you would you pay money to watch the Ayer Cut? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Derek, what you got? Hi, E-Man, aka E-Hulk. Just drop in. I'll catch the replay. By the way, Raymond Burr got his break in a Godzilla movie. Debate continues. No, it does not. No, it does not. I don't even know who Raymond Burr is. Hold on. Let me. Do I have to look this up? Burr. Maybe I know him by face. Oh, yeah, no. Now, Canadian actor, bro. I don't. That you went first. Listen, first pictures I saw with him in black and white. You went way beyond my age bracket. Like, yeah, I mean, y'all know, y'all familiar. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't know who Raymond Burr is. Perry Mason. That was Perry Mason? I never knew. Okay. Well, thanks for letting me know that, guys. I appreciate that. I did watch Perry Mason. Listen, I was a kid. I watched it with my grandma, but I didn't know that. Okay. He was a comedian? I didn't know that. All right, cool. I had no clue. That was, again, way before my time. Way before my time. See, why didn't you just say Perry Mason? If you had said Perry Mason, I'd be like, oh, okay. I didn't know the guy's name. He was just long. I was watching him and Bob Barker on Price is Right. That's all I knew back then. Zia, what you got? I just noticed the t-shirt. I need one ASAP. Thank you so much. The link is in the description. So if you go to the YouTube video, I did put it in the description so you too can get it. Go get it while the discount is on. I think they're going for like $16. So get it now while it's out. Thank you so much. Puma, what you got? Gunn is sounding like a Crossroads demon, right? Just passing out deals to everybody. Like, look, what you want? All right, I get you that. Now, look, this is going to be up to James Gunn. Now, I'm not saying James Gunn is a liar. I'm not saying that at all, because he still has time to deliver on all this, So we just have to kind of wait and see whether these things are going to pan out. You don't know. We don't know. All right, guys, let's get to the last topic of the day. Woo-wee. Boy. All right, guys, I made a whole video about this earlier, but we've talked about this multiple times. Matter of fact, we talked about it here just not too long ago. One of Marvel's biggest issues, I think, in phase 4 has been that the stories have gotten out of pocket with the humor. Let me be very clear. No one is saying that Marvel movies need to be dark and grim and serious. No one's saying that. That's not, they don't have to be. However, you don't need the complete opposite of that either in having these movies be stupid and silly and goofy. And it's not just Marvel. That's what a lot of these comic book movies. We just saw Shazam go way too silly and dumb, and that failed. We saw Ant-Man go all crazy, and that just didn't do it. I have holes. Shut up. We just saw Thor: Love and Thunder, which is the perfect example of going too silly, and that did not work. Now, is it fine to sprinkle in a couple things here and there? Sure. But you can't go too silly or too goofy, because if you go full goofy, it's just not going to work out. And I told y'all this too. How many movies, whether it's DC or Marvel, how many movies are in your personal top 5 that are straight up comedies? How many superhero movies are in your top 5? Because I think the only exception might be Thor Ragnarok and maybe Guardians 1, maybe, if you even want to call that a comedy. I thought it was like an adventure with some humor in it. But comedies don't usually end up the top of the list in terms of quality. They're usually the movies that we put at the bottom of the list. And when it comes to Marvel specifically, I told y'all that I had this very concern when it came to the Marvels. Because when I went to the Disney convention or whatever, D23, they showed us a clip of the Marvels, and it was just highlight footage. You know, it's like an extended trailer. And I remember watching it, and I was just like, I don't know if this is going to be good. Because not only did I not know what the movie was about, but it was all this randomness happening. And it looked like a Disney movie rather than a Marvel movie. In other words, it looked like a movie that if you turned on the Disney Channel, it looked like something like that rather than, oh, this is a Marvel product with action and da 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 da. So I was sitting there, I was like, I don't know. And I told y'all, I made a whole video about this, about my concerns. I had 4 concerns when it came to the Marvels. I thought it was going to be, way too silly. I thought it was going to be, well, y'all can go watch that video when you get a chance. I laid it all out there. But unfortunately, it looks like here, my biggest concerns have actually come true. Because according to this, the Marvel's director has not only talked about superhero fatigue, but said that the new Marvel's movie is going to be really wacky and silly. Yikes. All right, let's see what she had to say. Nia DaCosta. She says here, I think superhero fatigue absolutely exists. The biggest difference from the other MCU movies to date is that the Marvels is really wacky and silly. The worlds we go to in this movie are worlds unlike others you've seen in the MCU. Bright worlds you haven't seen before. First of all, how many times do we have to like keep throwing superhero movie fatigue out there before we call it what it is? If a movie keeps doing the same thing, you're fatigued about that same thing, not the genre. Because last I checked, didn't Across the Spider-Verse just bust out of nowhere as being one of the best movies of 2023? Haven't y'all just got done watching Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, talking about how great that was? Where was the fatigue then? Where was the fatigue when these movies were doing great? When these superhero movies were doing great? Where was this magical fatigue? It's not true. It's a stupid term that keeps on getting thrown out. You know what? Calling superhero fatigue is kind of as dumb as calling out black on black violence, because black on black violence happens the same way white on white violence happens. It happens the same way as Asian on Asian violence happens. Why? Because violence happens according to proximity. If you live in an area with a certain amount of people, that's where the violence happens, and people tend to be there. It's the same thing. If movies in superhero genres or whatever, if they do the same thing, that's going to be a boring formula because the stories are not compelling, not because people are tired of the genre. Didn't I just give you the example with comedies? When was the last time we saw really good comedies the same way that we saw at the rate that we saw back in the 2000s and 90s? We haven't seen that kind of surge in a long time because the genre has been staying with the same, basic formula, and it hasn't been good. It's been tamed, it's been pulled back, it's not good. But we don't talk about comedy movie fatigue. So we don't need to talk about superhero movie fatigue because they're not real. We just are lacking originality. We're lacking good quality. That's the problem. And before we get to the latter part of her conversation, Lord and Miller, the guys that brought you to Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse movies, they dismantled this stupid superhero fatigue thing by saying if you're using the same story structure and the same style and the same tone and the same vibe as movies and shows that have come before, it doesn't matter what genre it is. It's going to be boring to people. That's it. That's it. That's it. If you keep doing the same nonsense, that's boring because we want different types of storytelling. That's all. All right, now let's get on to Captain Marvel. Now, she said here that it's going to be really wacky and silly. This is the problem. This is not an attack against Captain Marvel. This is not an attack against Brie Larson. This is not an attack on women in these movies. This is an attack in terms of the formula and the approach to the storytelling. Why are you still trying to make things wacky and silly when that has not proven in this current, formula to be effective? Now, does this mean I'm not going to watch the movie? No, I'm going to go watch it. I'll give it a shot. But at the same time, I've been soured by multiple other superhero movies that have been wacky and silly or whatever, and they have not panned out very well. So my trust is very low with this approach. I don't think wacky and silly bodes very well for these movies. Not to mention, Captain Marvel is not a character that promotes that. That's not what you got us into. When you first had the first Captain Marvel movie that made $1 billion, was that wacky and silly? I mean, some of the parts were, and I don't think those parts work very well, but that's not the way the movie was advertised. See, I think it's a little different because it depends on certain expectations. Let's take Ant-Man, for example. When you watch the first Ant-Man movie, it actually was more serious than it was funny, but overall, I think we understood Ant-Man is going to be a funny movie. So when Ant-Man 2 came out, when they had little funny jokes and stuff, we rolled with it. We went right along with it because the expectation was already set that, hey, Ant-Man is a very light, humorous type of franchise. So don't go looking too much into this. And then, of course, they went a little too far with Ant-Man 3. But Captain Marvel, you went from something semi-moderately serious to silly and wacky. I mean, silly and wacky can work for some people, but I feel like when you change up gears like that, you're now alienating the people that were on board because maybe they don't get down with that. Maybe you'll attract some new people that like silly and wacky stuff. But again, like I've said, the track record for silly and wacky does not hold up. Thor Ragnarok seems to be the only exception right now, at least in Marvel, that's going to hold that up. I don't think that this is a good approach. And if anything, this only adds to my worry about the movie. Again, not because of the actors, not because of the characters, because of the direction. I'm not a wacky, silly kind of guy. That's not what this is. I feel like Marvel came into the mix, in 2012? We are now in 2013. That means even if you were just born when Marvel movies came out, at least you're 11 years old, 12, whatever. But the people that were 10, 12, 11 years old, they in their 20s now, right? At least. Do they want to see wacky and silly stuff? Or is it time to maybe start giving people more serious and mature stories? I don't know. But either way, y'all let me know. What do you think about this director's comments about the Marvels? Does it entice you? Maybe you like wacky and silly stuff. Are you excited for the Marvels after hearing this? Are you discouraged? Whatever you're feeling, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Let's see. Anthony back at it. Time. My run is done. Congratulations. I'm now in second with 85 miles. Wow, congratulations. Third place has 84.6. Fourth has 74.36. The guy in first finished the first week. Thanks for keeping me entertained. Yo, that is dope. You've been running this whole time? This whole time? How you been? Wait a minute. Man, that is crazy. My gosh. Hey, congratulations, bro. That is awesome. You better than me. I'm glad. Listen, I'm gonna have to live through you, get my exercise through you, because listen, most I can do right now is a couple long walks with my dog. So, but congratulations. Thank you so much. Jesus. Maybe if we take a couple of chairs to Kevin Feige's office, we'll get a good Blade movie. That is too funny. Listen, now, first of all, I do not, I should have said this from the jump. I do not endorse, nor do I condone violence. Okay. I do condone some funny memes. I condone some jokes, but I'm not going to condone actual violence. So I just want to put that out there. Don't nobody come in here saying E-Man stirred nothing up. No, I did not. Okay. But I do know if I see somebody in need with a chair, I know it's a real situation. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, guys, that is it. Look at that. 2.5. Ooh, under 3 hours. Oh, yeah. That is all I have for y'all today. What y'all talking about? What are y'all? Hold on. What is it? Female. What? Hold on. Does this require my attention? Let it fly. What? What are y'all saying in these comments? Okay, maybe it don't apply to me. Okay. Liam, you good? You good? No, I see all this back and forth. Okay. All right. Whatever. Anyway, guys, I want to thank y'all so much for taking the time to watch and to be here. Always a pleasure. Let's see. I got a video coming out for y'all. I told you I had that Scarlet Witch video. That is going to drop on Monday. So make sure you tune in for that. And then I got some other stuff I got to work on. So I will definitely get more stuff working for you guys. But outside of that, I am going to be at Fan Expo tomorrow. So if anybody is going to be downtown Chicago, come and holler at your boy. If you do come and meet me, please introduce yourself. I don't know everybody. I know y'all know me. It's a one-way thing. Like y'all talk to me and see me. I don't see y'all like that. So I don't know. But I will be there. And at least I'll be hanging out with my daughter. So, we'll be having a good time there. What else? I think that's it. All right, y'all know the deal. Wash your hands. Please wash them butts as well. Enjoy yourself. Have a fantastic weekend. Watch some good things. And I will see y'all later. All right. Oh, don't forget, check the description. Got a nice giveaway for y'all. Go ahead and get that giveaway now. Don't let it slip through your fingers now. All right. All right, y'all. Peace.